Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be taking a look at a knife from Revo. I've actually had the opportunity of checking out some of their knives in the past. They're really awesome knives, but I feel like it's one of those knives companies that not a lot of people talk about. But let me tell you, from all the knives that I tested from them, there's one thing that they all have in common, and it's they are very tough. They're very well built. It's one of those knives that you don't have to worry about putting it through the paces because it's going to handle pretty much whatever you throw at them. So I had the opportunity of talking to them earlier this year while I was at SHOT Show in Las Vegas, and they provided me this knife so I can test it out and kind of check it out and review it for you guys. I've been carrying it off and on as part of my EDC, for the past couple months, and I wanted to go ahead and showcase it for you guys. So it comes in the typical box here, just a cardboard box. It does say Revo on the front there, and then on the back here is the knife itself. So this is the Duo Drop Point in orange. Now, it's called the Duo because it actually has a pretty cool feature that goes along with that name. It is available in a couple of different blade configurations. That's why this one says drop point, and then also available in a couple different colors. That's why this one says orange. So let's go ahead and slide this box open, and we'll take a look at it. So here it is. We'll set the box off to the side. And here is the Duo. Again, this one is in the orange, and basically what you have is you have a G10 kind of insert scale on top of the handle material there of that particular color. So again, this one being the orange G10, which is on top of the stainless steel handles on here. These handles are black stonewash, so I think that looks really cool. I like the black and orange combination. I think those two colors look really cool together, so I like how they did that. You could still see the stonewash stainless steel handle on there, and then they just added this kind of G10 insert, and that is available on both sides of the knife itself. So here is the knife in my hand, so you guys can get a frame of reference for the size of the knife itself. Really nice weight to it. Again, it is stainless steel handle, so you are going to get a little bit of heft to it, but it's what I would call manageable weight, good weight. It actually, when you have it in your hand and you're using it, the weight actually works to your advantage, which is really nice. It has a very classic look to it, even though with the orange G10 there, but it still gives it a nice classic lines to the knife itself. So taking a look around the knife, you do have a nice and deep right pocket clip here. The clip is tip up carry left and or right, so you can actually carry it on either side. You also have a nice sizable lanyard hole right there, so if you want to go ahead and throw a lanyard on this guy, you can do that. You also have a back spacer right here, which is pretty much the longest back spacer I've seen on a knife recently. So it comes all the way from down here all the way up and around and right up to this portion right there. So it is a black back spacer there. So I like that. It gives it rigidity to the knife itself. Now this is a flipper, so you do have a flipper tab right here, which is how you're going to go ahead and deploy the blade. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that, and there it is. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this particular one is the drop point version. This is a hollow ground drop point blade, but it is available in two other configurations. You either get a sheepfoot configuration or a tanto configuration for the blade. So I like the fact that they offer a couple different features on the knife. So in other words, you can get 3 different blade shapes, so either tanto, sheepfoot, or drop point, and then you can also get different colors as far as these inserts on the handle material there. So that is really nice because again, it gives you different options. Also, if you wanted to pick up multiple ones, maybe different colors and different blade shapes, you can go ahead and do that as well. As I mentioned, again, this is a hollow ground drop point blade, and it is in that black stonewash as well, so it matches the handle or the material there. Again, you do have the Revo logo there, and this blade is coming in at 9 CR 18 MOV. That is your blade steel. Again, it's a fairly decent blade steel, pretty easy to sharpen back up if you needed to. You do have some jimping at the top of the blade, and just like the backspacer, how it's a long backspacer here, you have a long run of jimping on the top of the blade there. So normally you'd have like just enough for your thumb to kind of rest right there, but if you did want to go ahead and choke up on that blade, you do have jimping all the way up to almost half the blade there to go ahead and use it. The blade itself did come fairly sharp, which is nice, and you do have an acute tip right there, but you do have a nice and thick blade stock on there. So again, this knife just feels very sturdy. It feels like I can go ahead and use it for whatever EDC tasks I might want to use it for, and it's not going to let me down. Now, this is a frame lock because again, you do have that insert into the handle material there, so you can go ahead and disengage it and close the blade, and it's nice and centered, so as it should be. And again, you can go ahead and deploy the blade with your flipper tab right there, which does have a little bit of jimping, and it flies out and it locks up rock solid, which is really, really nice. I do enjoy that. So again, this model is called the Duo, and that is because, I don't know if you guys can make it out, there is actually a secondary little tool right in here. So I'll go ahead and close the blade, and I'll go ahead and access that tool. You do have a little cutout, and it's a nail nick, and this actually rotates out, and it's got two tools on it. So you do have a flathead screwdriver right here. It's nice size, so you can use it for a lot of different things that you would need a flathead screwdriver for. And then you have my light just went out on top there. And then you have a seatbelt / strap cutter right here. So that is really cool because again, if you do need to extricate yourself out of a vehicle or something like that, you can go ahead and use that to cut the seatbelt. And then you can actually use this because this is locked. It's not going to close on you if you needed to maybe bust out a window or something like that. Or if you just wanted to use it for EDC purposes, you can actually use this to kind of cut some tape. If you're cutting up a box, if you don't want to gunk up your blade or something like that, you can use that, just kind of hook it onto the tape and then just cut it that way. Or you can use it to cut any type of cordage or anything like that. That'll make it easy to cut as well. Now this does lock, as I mentioned, so you have your lock mechanism right back here. So you just go ahead and press on that, and the tool actually retracts back into the blade. Now obviously you cannot use both the blade and the tool because they do open both onto the same side. So you can open it, but if you go ahead and open it all the way, as you guys can see there, it kind of runs in the way. So it is either one or the other at the particular time. So that's just one thing to note. Again, I'm not sure if I'd want the tool to kind of open the other way. I don't see a reason why I would have to use them both at the same time, so I like the way that this is housed in there. And again, it's very discreet. It's out of the way. It doesn't impede the usage of the blade itself, or the knife, I should say. I can choke up on the blade, and I don't feel that the little tool in there because again, it's recessed enough to just necessitate using my nail to get into that nail nick to get it out. The flipper tab does become a slight finger choil right there. So again, I'm not feeling any type of sore spots or anything like that when I choke up on the blade, when I grip the blade really tight. And going back to what I originally mentioned at the beginning of the video is just how well built and tight tolerances Revo knives have had, in my opinion, the ones that I have tested out, and the Duo here is no exception to that. So I really do enjoy this. The way that I've been carrying this knife is not my primary EDC blade. I've been carrying it as a secondary EDC blade. So I could easily see this knife, finding a good home in maybe an EDC bag, so you can have it as a tool, so you can have both the actual blade to do any type of cutting tools or cutting task or anything like that, and then the little tool right here. You can always use a screwdriver and a strap or seatbelt cutter. I can find a lot of uses for that as well. So I do like that they put some thought process behind the tools to include on this Duo, because again, they don't take up any room. They're nice and thin, so you do get two very useful tools in one little section right here. And then I like the fact that it locks a lot of times, when you add extra tools and stuff like that to either knives or multi-tools or whatever. whatever, they don't lock. So something like this, you definitely want it to lock, especially if you're going to be using it in an emergency situation where you have to cut yourself out of with your seatbelt and then maybe use that to, you know, open up a window or something like that. I want to make sure that that doesn't close back on to me and, you know, cause more harm than, you know, than what I would want it to do. So, and then again, it closes down and it is locked in there. It's not coming out. Same thing with the blade flies out and I can go ahead and use it. So I think this is a really cool option from Revo, and if you guys haven't heard of this particular model before, if you want to go ahead and check it out, I will leave a link below to Revo's site where you can find this. You can see all the different colors and blade shapes that it's available in, and maybe pick one up for yourself. So there it is. It's a look at the Revo Duo, this one being in the orange color and in the drop point blade. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.